back. This is Wayne Madsen. We're back with you after technical difficulties. Obviously, the NSA has figured out a way to mess with Skype. Let's see how far this will go, putting ourselves at the mercy of AT&T. They're both, of course, in bed with the boys up at Fort Meade. And, this is the reason I'm getting the hell out of this country, for this kind of crap that I constantly have to be put through in this country. This is no longer a democracy. But anyway, we're joined. I think we have our guests with us. We were going to try to do this roundtable, a McLaughlin type panel over the radio, sort of like what we talk about frequently, the subjects at the National Press Club. Do we have our guests with us? Okay, well, let me introduce them as we're getting our guests on. I'm joined tonight by Andrew Craig. He's the head of the Justice Integrity Project, and he's done some pioneering work in just pointing out the problems with Justice Department prosecutions, corrupt judges in the United States, and just the epidemic of political prosecutions we've seen time in and time out, from former Governor Don Siegelman, Alabama, to other state officials and local officials around the country, and also John Edward Hurley, who's the head of the McLaughlin, I'm sorry, not the McClendon Group, the McClendon Group, which meets Wednesday nights at the National Press Club, and it's named after, of course, Sarah McClendon, who was the longtime White House correspondent, who was senior even to Helen Thomas. Of course, they both ran afoul of the powers that be at the White House and had their press passes ultimately yanked. But John Edward Hurley and Andrew Craig are longtime observers of things in Washington, events in Washington, and we'll talk about some of the things that's going on. But before I bring them on, I want to play this clip. This was aired by Cenk Uygur, who's on MSNBC. This was on his program. He interviewed a fellow named Mark Feldstein. He's a professor at George Washington University, who was talking about somebody I've tried to pattern my investigative journalism after in Washington, and that's the late Jack Anderson. Jack Anderson ran afoul of the Nixon administration, and Nixon's cronies, G. Gordon Liddy, Charles Colson, and E. Howard Hunt, discussed ways to kill Jack Anderson. Yes, you heard it, kill. Now, I want to play this clip. You will hear Cenk Uygur laugh when Feldstein says, yes, Nixon's cronies were trying to kill Anderson. I mean, this is typical. Uygur and this idiot Piers Morgan, when he had Jesse Ventura on, they think this is funny. They think this doesn't exist. So when I write that I received a credible threat, people might scoff at it, just like they scoffed at Jack Anderson. And you can hear Cenk Uygur, who probably was 4 years old when Jack Anderson was writing his last columns for the Washington Post and others. I want to play this clip. Listen to this clip and listen to what they had planned for Jack Anderson, both as a way to kill him and also kill his character. They also looked at character assassination.
Anderson. Well, tell us who Jack Anderson.
Well, that's true. He's the most important famous reporter that no one under the age of 60 ever heard of, but he was what Bob Woodward and Cy Hirsch and I don't know who else mixed together all were in his day. The most famous and feared investigative reporter of his time, 1950s to 1970s, and he drove the Nixon administration crazy up to and including a plot to murder him.
Yeah, okay, that's crazy. Really? That's my question to you. Really?
Really. It didn't come in a vacuum. They had 25 years of going after each other. Anderson exposed almost every scandal Nixon was associated with long before he came to the White House. And then the White House tried a whole bunch of other ways to stop him that failed, ultimately leading to this assassination plot. I can tell you what they are if you want.
Yeah, I definitely do want. But first, let's do the assassination plot. What was, like, how were they planning to kill him? Like, drop him out of an airplane, or what was the idea?
Well, Gordon Liddy, your fellow talk show host, back when he was committing the kinds of felonies for which he went to prison, and Howard Hunt, another famous name from the past, met at a block from the White House at the Hay Adams Hotel with a CIA poison expert, and they discussed various ways of administering a poison to this investigative reporter that wouldn't show up in an autopsy. Then, after that was done, Liddy and Hunt surveilled Anderson, tailed him from his work in downtown Washington to his home, checking the route he drove to see what the best way to crash their car into him, so it would flip over and burn and he would die in what appeared to be an accident. And then they staked out his house, looking for vulnerabilities, as Hunt put it, where they could break in and kill him in his home.
These people are psychos, man. I mean, G. Gordon Liddy talks as if he's some sort of patriot, as if he's some sort of American hero. I mean, what a thug and a lowlife that guy is.
Well, he still defends his plot to kill Anderson. He still thinks it was the right thing to do. What can I say? And these are the guys. You know, George W. Bush, and the current Republican Party didn't come out of nowhere. This is their direct descendant. Fox News was Richard Nixon's idea. He didn't call it Fox News.
There you heard it. There you heard what they were planning to do with Jack Anderson. And we will be back with our guests right after this short break.
You're listening to